Shadowrun Hong Kong, episode 4. The MTR rockets noiselessly toward Heoi, along the edge of the Kowloon Bay. The black waters glitters in the night with the light of 1,000 reflected storefronts. Gaichu stares sightlessly out of the window, one hand pressed to the glass. The plot by the elders is exposed, and Porter Lamb is in your debt. You have a new ally in the respect of the Vampoans. Sometimes everything goes right on a job. You count yourself lucky. This was one of those times. Your comlink chirps. It's kindly Shang. Dystopia here. Come to the Mahjong parlor at once, Dystopia. I have something I want to show you. Your crew is already here. I'll be there right away. Very good, my sweet. Very good. I'll see you shortly. Mission for Maximum Law surveys the dock from beneath his meticulously patched tarpaulin, goggles and belted with electronics, his arms folded, his expression stern. A sweat-drenched little king, his boat rocks gently. As you approach, he looks sharply your way and breaks into an awkward smile. Hey, Dystopia, I was hoping you'd come around. You got a minute? What's up? Kindly had Wampo burn your sin. Sin, word is, you're doing work for her, not normal Yellow Lotus stuff. Law shifts from foot to foot. He fidgets with the hardware on his belt, Shadowrunning. Yes, I'm now an unusual asset. Wicked. Law says it distinctly, in a hushed tone, then seems to catch himself. He draws attention up to his full height. His usual demeanor of self-assurance returns. That's pretty ironclad, Dystopia. Pretty vicious. If you do good, you'll be noticed. Listen, if you've got info about runs, I can make it worth something. We Wampoans call that kind of thing metadata. Wampoa likes to get the word on the streets from the active operators. No, I have no idea. No fucking hello, but why would I play silly beta? I would play if I could get 80 and try out endgame, but 70 don't. You don't have all the abilities and shit. Worth something. Credits. Yeah, I can hook you up with something. Maybe credits, maybe some sweet programs. But really, you'll gain face with Wampoa. That counts for a lot of money. Law looks out through the rain, across the rocking boats. He wipes his foggy goggles, lenses with a rag from his pocket. His stomach gurgles loudly. Augmented reality goggles aside, this gig gets really boring sometimes. You ever want to talk shop, I'm here. Yeah, and then I'll have plenty of time to learn the 70 meta. I don't really feel like I need to go into that now. I'll still need to like level up and yeah, I don't know. I'll just have to deal with it. I'll just have to level it up and see how it feels. I don't have the energy for it. That's all there is basically. Your elders hired a ghoul assassin to. I know, those piss drinking, pig sucking. Lo erupts into a torrent of livid, awkward profanity, some sort of pidgin of Cantonese and tech speak. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's just 2 weeks and then we have it, or 1.5 week and then we have it. But we'll see. Yeah. He catches him short, pulls himself back together, and clenches his fists. You know whose fault this is? Nung. She's always had it in for Magpie, because Magpie was a genius. The turbo-snorting woohoo idiot and her lackeys almost destroyed the Von Pao network. He folds his arms across his chest. I hope they string the bones of those morons from the gutters with a bunch of monofilament wire from the blessed autofab. Law pauses and looks over at you. I've heard all the rumors, but what's the full story? What do you know? We need to port this data out to the whole tribe. Before I go on, you seem fond of Magpie. Magpie was the best of the bunch. She was a wicked coder and an overhead decker. Plus, she knew the infrastructure. Those of us in Magpie's bus maintain the Shadows net. That's what keeps Wompao independent. Now we've lost Magpie and half the other elders. All that skill base is gone. All because Nang got a bunch of cruft in her boards. It was her fault, I'm telling you. Tell Maximum Law the whole story. He listens in prolonged silence as you lay it all out. When you're done, he shakes himself as if awakened from a bad dream. Whoa, Law seems stunned. For real. Man, this is going to go down in tribal lore dystopia. This is a cred stick I keep on hand for when people have special information. Take it, you've earned it. Kinda want to think now and share files. I'm here for tech, show me what you got. As you walk through the Mahjong parlor, you see your crew waiting for you, clearly uncomfortable to be so close to a triad boss. Then you see why. Kindly Sheng's cheeks are flushed and glowing. She's already hit the bottle pretty hard. Dystopia, you're here, excellent. Yes, Dystopia, it's good to see you. They both have expressions that say they'd rather be anywhere else. Don't keep... Nice to see you all. Should we grab a table for some maj? Shut up, Dystopia, I have important news. Kindly Sheng takes out her PDA and gently places it on the table in front of her. The wiretap we placed on the police force has borne fruit. Her mouth breaks into a wolfish grin. Her eyes take on a feral gleam. She appears fueled by alcohol and vengeance, a hungry beast on the hunt. My people have delivered a snippet of a recorded video call between the plastic-faced man and Chief Inspector Crate of the Special Duties Unit. This should be good. Should we take a seat? Unfortunately, it's only a snippet. There were some technical difficulties with the tap. She glances at Bao, who nods back at her. The person responsible has been sacked. Sheng reaches out a lacquered fingernail, hunts for the button she's looking for, and stabs it in victory. There's a loud crackling noise at the beginning of the recording, followed by a squelching squeal that makes Gobbet covers her ears in pain. When the video recording begins, the man's voice sounds far away as he's talking through a thick pane of glass. The woman's is louder, closer. Say that again. There's something wrong with this line. I said my client isn't interested in hearing more excuses, Inspector. That's what I thought you said. I'm not making excuses, mister. I have a department to run. Not for much longer. If those two Westerners aren't found, they're linked to this Raymond Black somehow, and my client wants them out of circulation immediately. The two runners are his accomplices too, the little orc and the dwarf with the cyberdeck. Gobbet looks at Isabel, wide-eyed, and swallows hard. Isabel winks back reassuringly. I'm aware, Inspector, thank you. We don't know how much any of them know, and my client is adamant that the risk be mitigated immediately. You've already made this the SDU's highest priority. If Josephine wants more resources on it, I'm going to need allocations from elsewhere in the department. That is a problem that can be easily dealt with. My client wants this over, now. No more excuses, no more fuck ups, no more cops floating in the river. Kindly Sheng smiles at that and pours herself a shot. Tell her we're redoubling our effort. Very good. Dead or alive, you bring them to me. My client requires my personal verification that the threat has been eliminated. Hang on, this line is getting worse. There's a sharp crackle and the recording ends. Candy Sheng picks up her PDA and puts it away with a smile. She unscrews the cap on her bottle and pours herself a shot with a flourish. That's the guy we saw in the surveillance footage, the one who killed Raymond Black. She leans into the PDA. That plastic face looks a lot cooler close up. I think it's kind of pretty. That video doesn't tell us much. I mean, we already know that there's an APB on us. All we're sure of now is that the man with the plastic face is definitely working for someone else, this Josephine. Is that all we have, Auntie? A first name? It's not just a first name, Gobbet dear, it's the first name. Josephine Sang. She's the one pulling the strings. Kindly downs her shot and slams the glass upside down on her table. That's the disease-riddled dog fucker. I should have known it was her from the beginning. She drums her finger on the table in front of her, and she had the nerve to call down the heat on my runners, on Nightjar. Oh, that Scrabrous fossil is going to pay. So, friend of yours. Shane makes a wet hacking noise in the back of her throat and spits on the floor. She's the CEO of Sang Mechanical Services and a member of the Hong Kong Executive Council. Her face turns to a mask of disgust. Josephine Dog fucking Tang. CEO, huh? What do you know about her? She was Hong Kong Philanthropist of the Year in 2054 and 2055. Children's Hospital, homeless shelters, food distribution centers. Good causes, and the kind that get good PR because people are too lazy and myopic to look for the real people doing the hard work. The face-to-face with the poor work. Don't be so cynical, Isabel. Auntie Cheng smiles at her sweetly. Come face-to-face with the unsanitized for video poor is distasteful, dear. You know that. Her face gets stony. Beyond being a CEO and philanthropist, I also know that Josephine Sang is a lying, conniving bitch. Philanthropist and bitch, those two things sound mutually exclusive. She snorts derisively. Wake up, dystopia. Power is power. Whether you're providing children with 3 hots and a cot, or you're negotiating a treaty with a multinational, it's all the same. It doesn't sound like you like her very much. Whatever gave you that impression, my sweet? Her wolfish smile returns. No, my darling, I don't like Josephine Sang, and I'm going to fuck her up. I'm going to fuck her up bad. Oh, this should be good. It will be delicious, and I may explain why someday, but not today. She picks up her bottle of swill. Its turpentine fume drifts your way. But when I finally get her, you'll be there, my darling. I'll make it a party. What is Sang Mechanical Services? Josephine's baby. It was a B-rated corporation before she married into the Sang family. But after she fought for and won the contract to rebuild Kowloon Walled City, their fortune rose high. They began a rise to power that eventually landed Josephine on the executive council. Wait, so there's a connection between Josephine Sang and the Walled City? Yes, the same place Raymond Black hired my runners to take him. I've already connected the dots. I don't know what it means, but it clearly means something. What do you think the connection is between Josephine Sang and the plastic-faced man? I don't know yet, but I will. He called her his client. That may be some sort of lead we can follow. Shang nods at Wu. Her glance lingers at his biceps a moment before continuing. Right now, all we know is that he is her instrument, the one who killed Raymond Black. Raymond's not dead. Yes, you may have mentioned that before, Guncho. She smiles at him reprovingly. Regardless, the plastic-faced man is still our best lead for figuring out what's going on. Let's cut to the chase. What's our next step? There's nothing we can do to touch Josephine Sang, as much as I hate to admit it, but the plastic-faced man is a different story. He's a third-party operative who's been careless, and he'll live to regret it. Her little black eyes turn stony for a while. If Sang thinks she can take out 2 of my runners and get away with it, I'm going to have to explain things to her. She pulls out a thin black cigar and runs it beneath her nose. We're going to find the plastic-faced man, and we are going to hurt him. We'll hurt him until we know everything he does. And then We will use that strike back at Josephine. Use that to strike back at Josephine's hand. She lights her cigar and takes a deep, deep pull. You will have your vengeance, and I will have my own satisfaction. She turns away and picks up the bottle. Now get out. I have work to do. Okay, I'm gonna eat now, but I'll be back in a little bit.